You're live.
Hey there,
Hey,
Roseanne. How you doing?
hey, kiddo. I'm calling on you for sanity because you know we're all losing our minds.
Well, everybody take a deep breath. Everybody take a deep breath. In fact, let's all do it together. Nice deep breath. Oxygenate. Another one. Now, Roseanne, I know you've been not smoking for a week.
Yeah, it's so
I'm so
hard.
proud of you. I'm so proud
Oh
of you.
my God. It's 5 days actually. Oh my
Well,
God.
5 days feels like a week probably when you're stopping smoking, but okay, that's a great start, kiddo. We need more good guys and gals around. So the fact that you've decided to take active measures in order to stick around is a good thing.
Yeah, I want to, I guess I want to stay in the fight, but damn, it's getting hard. Everybody's calling and bitching. I called you to bitch, but you said stop wringing your hands and get some stronger hand cream. So
Get the good stuff. Lanolin seems to be the best. I don't know why, but the lanolin hand cream seems to be the best. By the way, I got a phone with a 2-star just a little while ago, and I told him, yeah, that you can use axle grease too if you need to. Okay, in an emergency.
well, it's getting hard. It's getting hard to see the president, his face ground into the mud. It's getting hard for us to take any more of this shit.
You're watching it. We're all in the same boat together. It's not just the president. It's not just his family.
Hell no, I'll be real. It's me. And I'm fucking sick of it. The president, of course I care about him and the country, but to be really selfish, this is my shit. They did this to me. This is me. And I'm sick of this shit.
Well, the
They
biggest
did
thing.
this to me because I voted for Trump. They did this to all of us because we wanted our way out of slavery. They're pissed that they're losing their slaves. I'm sick of their shit.
That's true. Remember this, Roseanne. They can say anything they want, but the reality is we know that 80% of the American people that voted for President Trump. So the one thing they can lie, they can cheat, they can try to fool everybody, but in their heart of hearts, what they're most afraid of is the numbers, because they know that the largest number of Americans ever to vote as a percentage in a presidential election and as a total for one candidate just did it, and it was for Trump. Huge, huge, huge turnout for President Trump. And
they don't give a damn. They're like,
now
here.
You have to remember.
No, they're like, let us rub our butts in your face. It doesn't matter how you voted. We don't give a shit how you voted. We don't give a shit that your kids went to war to die for your right to vote. We don't give a fuck about that. We're going to rub our asses right in your face. We don't care. You're deplorable. You're fucking deplorable. You're subhuman. You don't matter. That's what they're saying.
They can say that, but the reality is it's projection. They're afraid of us that we'll figure out, which we have, what they're up to and what the numbers are really like, and that the majority of the American people stand up and say no. And that's exactly what's happening. We're not actually backing down. This is not over. People think it's over. It's not over. You're about to see that Purim moment. You're an Esther, Roseanne. And what happened with Esther when all hope seemed to be lost? That's that 17th book of the Bible. When all hope seemed to be lost, even after Haman was hanged in this instantaneous little reversal of fortune, there was still the decree that was in play that had to be fought out at a later time. We're in this boomerang Purim moment, and those of faith, those of consciousness, those who are God-minded, pray harder, but don't give up. We're not done.
Well, we don't have no choice. We can't give up because what are you going to do after you give up? It's going to get worse. We can't give up. We know that. We can't go back. It ain't going to get better. It's going to get worse. We can't quit. We know that, but I mean,
we're in for a penny, in for a pound, Roseanne. Look, imagine out into the future. Are you ever going to get another president in your lifetime, even in the young lifetimes of maybe some of the younger folks listening to this show? Are you ever going to get a president who's going to fight harder for you and be more on your side than President Trump has been over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, let alone the last 3 quarters or almost 4 that he's been in office? Think about it. When are you ever going to get another fighter?
A lot of us know Trump's been in the fight a lot longer than that.
That's right. And then the people that were there that asked President Trump to come and do this fight, he didn't have to do this. He was living a good life. He didn't need to do this. All logic would have said, why would you do that? Go enjoy, these years of your life. You got all the stuff. You got all the toys. You got a family. Why would you take this on? Because you were asked, and you have a sense of patriotic duty. He wasn't going to make more money. He wasn't going to have more fame. He wasn't going to make better friends. I'll tell you why he did it, though. There's a certain sense of civic responsibility. Yeah. And he was asked, he was in the right position, and there was a divine calling that, as bizarre as it seems, and as much as people would like to malign him as not being a person of conscience or God-directed, at some point, known only between him and his creator, he did have a sense of calling, and he's answered it exactly that way. That's why he's bold, because he senses that God is his protection. God is there watching over his shoulders. His angels are present there. The day that he and Melania went to the White House after the inauguration, Melania wouldn't stay there one night until the house had been exorcised, not once, but twice.
Yeah, I know.
And the priests went through and exorcised the house to clear it of all the demons. And then President Trump famously tweeted, the White House, the devil, Satan, has been kicked out of the White House. He started his presidency on a note of God, divine faith, trust for his protection and for what work had to be done from that location. He's stayed with that all this time. There have been numerous attempts to take him out. He survived all of them by God's divine hand. We're here right now, Roseanne, intact. Had the other side won back in 2016, if we'd had a Hillary presidency, we wouldn't be able to have this conversation right now. It would be a very, very bleak, horrible future that they had planned for us at every level. The monetary situation, the disease situation, the war fighting situation. They had us every way that you can have people. We're still here. Thank God we're still here. We're still in the fight. You have reasons for thanksgiving to God Almighty in heaven that he had the right people, not just President Trump, but many others behind the scenes whose names you might not ever know in this lifetime, but are there, very real, and doing incredible service to their fellow countrymen. They were there before President Trump became president, preparing a way, working a plan, getting in position for a very long time. The coup is going to be reversed by God's hand. It's a divine thing. And What we're looking for now is that divine, nobody else but God can take credit for what's next. And so, as a person of faith, we have to, be in prayer and accept that from God and look for it and anticipate it. Be thankful that it's coming. This reversal will be something where God Himself protects His people in the midst of the fire, in the midst of the storm, with what's about to happen that must happen. You have seen all the traitors exposing themselves. That's what this is about. And
Man,
we
can
don't
you
do
believe it?
pre-crime.
I mean,
Go ahead,
I've
Roseanne.
said it for so long. Do they think no one can see them? They think nobody can see them. They think they're invisible. They think they're above the all law and all visibility and all reality. I mean, they're the untouchable class. That's what they think.
That's been the recent history here in America. Every day that the president is there at the White House, he prays the Kennedy prayer to reverse the coup, to set right the wrongs that occurred when President Kennedy was assassinated and the country was taken into, they sealed the deal on this slavery pact that they had against America. And they have gotten away with it for so long that they don't think that they can be gotten. So what's got to happen? We've got to have this moment of reversal to turn that around. When they were praying that Kennedy prayer there in the Oval Office, they weren't praying it to Moloch. They weren't praying it to Baal. They weren't praying it to the Queen's family. They're praying it to God Almighty in heaven. Do I believe that God has heard those prayers, not just in the Oval Office, but of the American people? This is the moment when, by justice, the plotters are revealed, the plans are revealed. It all gets turned around. That's the Esther moment when
Yeah.
Haman's designs against the Jewish people were suddenly known and understood by the king. It changed everything. And we're in that kind of a moment. The people are going to find out what was plotted and planned against them. And then they're going to get the chance to see how close they came. I did a video over at Jennifer Mack.
Look how they're censoring any kind of information that tells them, the people, I'm talking about the American people, censoring any kind of information that tells them about the doom that they have been placed under. And instead, only allows the information for the stooges and the useful idiots to go out and say, yay, this doom, we're all going to be slaves pretty soon. Yay, this is liberation. Work makes free. The complete Nazi bullshit. And they're out there going, it's great. We won. We're going to be slaves pretty soon. Isn't this great liberation? That's the only information they allow. And
somewhere in here, they're going to.
Very true. It's very true about Haman. And it's very true about approaching Purim, too. And it's very true about the Iran deal that I got fired for shedding any light on, because that's verboten in this Fifth Reich.
Hold on, Roseanne.
Wait a minute. It's all about that. Wait a minute, Juan. It's all about that. They want to reverse that President Trump brought peace to the Middle East. They can't have that, and that's got to be reversed. So we've got to overthrow this president because he brought peace to the Middle East. We can't have that. Am I right or wrong?
That's true. They can't have peace because that doesn't fit their plan. They want to destroy all of those nation states over there and rebuild them according to their designs. It's part of the plan to bring the world to war in that location.
And have no Judaism, and have no Christianity, and have no Islam either. That it is the Islam of the people. Have none of that either. Uh-oh.
Sorry about that. I think we got cut off there.
I got too worked up.
Yeah.
I think that this is just like in Purim, it is a move to destroy the Jewish people. And that's why I love Trump so much, because he's the only president or leader of the world who's ever stood up for the Jewish people. And I
Well, let
believe
me just
that's
add.
why they hate him.
Let me just add this, Roseanne. Um, Even in Israel, you've got people that are working against the best interests of the Israeli people, not
Oh yeah,
just
they
in
just care
Israel but
about
around the
money.
world.
There are some, the evil people of all nations. All they care about is their payoff. They don't care about their people. They don't care about their neighbors or even their grandma or their own family. They don't care about people who helped them. They don't care about people who gave them their job. They only care about that extra 10 cents. They don't care about anything but money or their addiction or their evil pact that they made with Satan. They don't care about humanity or anything good. So, I don't want to go down for them. I know they're evil. They're just evil.
Well, remember, I mentioned this numerous shows. I've mentioned, I think, on yours, but it's worth revisiting. The money that Obama sent to Iran wasn't all cash on pallets in aircraft. The vast majority of it was digital money. That money went from Iran into the Ukraine. It went from the Ukraine down to Italy, into the Vatican banks, and then it went out into the system around the world. It was laundered essentially, and it goes to cook the elections in countries around the world and hire people into these offices, buy people into these offices. It wasn't just the U.S. that was targeted with the vote fraud. It was these other elections around the world to seal the deal on the world. The money that came into the U.S. and cooked these elections here. One of the things that's happened just in the last 24 hours. Yesterday at 1:12 p.m. Washington, D.C. time, the Italian prime minister sent a letter to Congress with the affidavit specifically of one of their officers who had been arrested, and stated he was willing to testify as long as his family was protected concerning the manipulation through the Dominion voting machines, through the servers in Frankfurt from a safe house in Italy that was being run by Italian intelligence, where British intelligence officers, two of them, who are known, we know exactly who they are, even though they had face masks on, we know exactly who they are. British intelligence was managing the servers that were the Dominion servers in the U.S. from that location, and the algorithms that were used. They're run up through the Frankfurt servers, which was a CIA safe house operation, a facility that was under CIA management control in a secure site, into Canada, into the U.S., through Nashville, which handles Atlanta, which is Georgia, and down into Maricopa County. And all of that was to manage the U.S. vote. And that was a British intelligence operation. I've said it numerous times for half a decade that George Soros is a British agent. His money came from taking down the pound. He's a figurehead. He is not the genius. He's an idiot, to be honest with you. But they've used him as a front, as a straw man for British operations all over the world. Okay. That money he got from taking down the pound, well, who knew it was going to be taken down? The bank operations there in London. And by the way, when you tie in Italy, what do you also do? What's going on in the square mile in the city of London? That's where all the banks are at for across the world. The only place on planet Earth that the Queen has to go, present herself, take her shoes off, and curtsy once a year is to the mayor of the city of London.
That's right.
Why? Because they run the royal families. And where are all those bank accounts cleared through from those banks? Basel, Switzerland.
That's right.
The Swiss are involved in this. Months ago,
the Swiss own Dominion Machines. The Swiss own the machines. That's getting by everybody
Do you
too.
know how
So
that got
the
out? That was one
Switzerland
of the people
is.
that we're managing, that I personally managed to get that information out into the public. And by the
I
way,
know you. I
who
know you did.
protects the Vatican? Who protects
The Swiss.
physically
The Swiss
the
Guard.
Swiss Guard?
It's
Okay.
all like
Why Italy?
Sean Ross. Dr. Sean Ross is homeless in Europe because he has 7 doctorates in literature and history, and he's made this clear. And the Swiss arrested him and tortured him in their prisons. They don't want anybody to know the Swiss control the CIA too, and the Lee family. It's all one fucking bullshit thing.
All those royal families, all those banking families, it's all the same operation. That's why the intelligence agencies, doesn't matter, we're talking CIA, MI6, Mossad, German intelligence. There is
Right.
a component in there where these bloodline families run the intelligence agencies like their own security agency for their international banking and business operations to protect their uh, uh, wealth, their resources, their control between the countries, and run us like sheep. We're being farmed. Now, President Trump is not part of that. He has been part of the operation to expose that. And what I'm telling you, Roseanne, what I'm telling all of your listeners, we're at a critical moment right now. Keep the faith, deep breaths. I know it's hard. Pray like you've never prayed before, and give the glory to God when it comes out right in the end. The planning, the people, this operation isn't over, and it's going to get darker before it gets better. Do not expect this to be over in a few hours or a day or two. And part of the reason that has to happen, Roseanne, and I've told this to you, and I want to remind your audience about this again. When the Great Depression happened, that generation that survived that, they were branded, embedded, emblazoned with this idea, this mentality about thriftiness, so they would never do it again. So you come about 2-3 generations away, and the kids still feel the pain from it. The grandparents still talk about it. This election situation with the attempt to steal and all of the lying, deceit, the corruption of the various officials, it has to be painful. It needs to be painful so that we will never allow ourselves to get in this situation again.
True.
And it's got to be that painful. If we'd had a quick cure months ago.
I agree it's got to get more painful. I agree that people have to see how filthy and disgusting and vile and evil it really is. So are we going to expect that to happen too? Because, people can't just sit there comfortably anymore. And so I am welcoming that this is all like coalescing, and we're seeing who's in control and why they're controlling. I think that's good. But when is the real ugly going to come out? Because people need to see that too. That'll shock
everyone. A lot of time. Look, everything's in play. The president's still president in this term for another, just short of 2 weeks. He's still legally present. Now, there's attempts right this second to get a vote underway to declare him, incompetent, his sanity in question, and enforce the 25th Amendment. I guarantee you, this is a hand-wringing moment. Everything that can be on the line is on the line. The only thing I'd tell your audience is, I said this a year ago and more. I said this election was going to be about picking a lane. I think I said it first on your show, Roseanne.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Heaven or hell, right or wrong, left or right. You're going to have to pick a lane. Before it's all over, nobody is going to be able to sit there and just be a casual observer. You're going to be known by how you decide to side in this hour of testing and trial. The president, when he was just a businessman, once told one of the interviewers that, someday he'd like to maybe not be wealthy, not have resources for a period of time. And then he'd actually be able to find out who his real friends are, because sometimes it's only when you're under that kind of pressure that kind of turmoil, a Job moment, do you find out who really loves you, as opposed to those that are just fair weather warriors. They just say something nice as long as you can give them something nice. Every word they have after you don't have anything is cutting. It's got some kind of slime on it. It's because you're no longer able to be valuable to them. There's plenty of those kind of people out there. They're everywhere, waiting to latch on to you. You know it, especially Roseanne, from where you're at. You know it personally.
Yeah, I do. So, I just feel I'm not going to be one of them. And I'm glad I quit smoking because I'm not going to let them try to destroy me anymore. I'm back for the fight. So thank you for kindling that fight in me again. And I'm going to get healthy and strong, and I'm going to kick some fucking ass.
Well, and of course, you said, I'm did a road trip across the country, bringing a few nice things from friends, real supporters of the president out. I've got that's what's in my bag here. I've got a duffel bag full of all sorts of cool little neat things, and your macadamia nuts. Yeah, we got your nuts in there. And then there's actually I got to delete the camera. Let's see where to go. There's I love that.
Oh yeah,
these guys that are run by the intelligence agencies, we call them corn because they're farmed, so they're farm products. So we call them corn. It's kind of fun. So there you go. That's the movie poster for the movie. It actually may be out yet late today. That's the plan.
Oh, good. I hope so, because we need something. Everybody's bitching about, hey, none of this happened. Nobody got arrested yet, and blah blah. So we need some kind of milestone. We need some kind of, visible
you see what that
something.
Is? Oh yeah.
I like it.
I'm sorry, the delay camera. Okay, that is a personalized.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, and by the way, that emblem you can't actually have that emblem unless you get the real thing. So, there's a couple. Oh yeah, there we go. There's the big guy. There we go. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Nice. That's nice. It's
gonna be fun. That's SEAL Team 3
I like
there, and
that.
SEAL Team 5 and 6. By the way, I think I sent Jake a link over there for Jennifer Mack did a beautiful movie that should be out later today. It's called The Called, and she has made these posters. There's some shirts. I think there's a link that people can get that at, and it's just kind of fun making a statement. Enjoy it, and I hope people really enjoy that. Remember, the president just needs. I did a movie, or I did a presentation over at Jennifer Mack's channel, The Perfect Day. I did that, I don't know, a year ago.
Right.
And it's actually, if I was going to point at one presentation that's maybe my favorite overall, that I would want people to, remember of all the presentations I've had the opportunity to do over the last many years, it'd probably be the Perfect Day one. I think it's a really important video that people could enjoy. And at this moment in time, what the president needs, as dire as this incident is, when it appears that there's no way that he can get out of this corner, that it's all done, it's over with, he needs a perfect day. We as a country, perfect day. The president's family needs a perfect day. They agreed, they were all in with him, and their fate, each and every one of them, lies on what happens over the next days and weeks. And so the family needs a perfect day. The country needs a perfect day. He needs a perfect day.
Yeah, it's all of us too. We need a perfect day too. We need to know that that we're going to be protected. The American people need to know that they're going to be protected.
Yep. Well, and so we need to be in prayer.
The predators that are just right outside their doors.
Well, you watch what this video that's coming out. I'll send you a link as soon as it's up. And tell me if it's a chance for everybody to decide all in, pick a team, pick which side, and with a lot of other great folks. A lot of people question whether the military will back the president, what has to happen next. I've talked to a tremendous amount of folks in those positions, and they're both ways. But I think we have this, and unfortunately, if you're dealing with nation state level collusion and treason, we're really in not a civil war, Roseanne. We're in a revolutionary war because, again, in this particular case, it was a number of countries colluding together. It wasn't just the Brits, although they were coordinating a lot of this. This is a full court press. China, Pakistan, Iran, Italy, Ukraine.
The Pope.
Yeah, and by the way, I want to say one thing too, because I have friends in these locations, and just because of stuff back in my history, for all the bullshit that the Russians are trying to do this and they're behind this and that, etc. We know that, in fact, it's part of the WikiLeaks Vault 7 stuff. The CIA had all sorts of spoofing stuff that they could use actively to spoof that the Russians did all sorts of things. Russians haven't been doing shit towards us in this way other than just monitoring what's going on. The Chinese have been, and the people running China have been. But the Russians have been trying to keep their distance. In fact, that has to do with where their fleet's deployed right now while our fleet's out, and they're not threatening us. They're keeping a hold on Europe. The reality is, and I know this, I've spoken with people right inside.
Putin likes us. That's why they hate Putin.
That's right. And I've spoken with people even in the last few days, right in there at the presidential compound, and they've gone to pains to try and reassure us. They have no designs on anything. They're trying to keep their distance and do everything they can not to telegraph they're doing anything. This is domestic, treasonous, traitorous, seditious individuals, and this is foreign operations by these nation state level groups, these foreign interests that are not served by having President Trump in office and cutting their power to deploy us militarily.
They don't like that he protects their prey. They do not like that he protects their prey. Because this is full on devil, ain't it? It's full on devil.
Oh, yeah.
Full on devil.
Oh, yeah. And
I'm going to be praying on that. I'm going to be praying against the devil. I don't like the devil. The devil is on my nerves. The devil is the one that made me smoke. And now I'm fighting back.
And I am so glad to hear you say to cut the smoking out. That's such a beautiful thing. I'm so excited for you. Deep breaths.
Well, I love you, and I'm so glad to talk to you and to thank you for lifting my spirits. And I hope it lifted. I know it lifted everybody who listens to you. Everybody loves you. You're our general, people's general. And thank you for coming on my show and all the good stuff you told us. And thanks for lifting me up.
Hey, Roseanne, you know what? Two things. If your listeners want to go listen, find that Perfect Day video. I think it's over on Rumble and it's over on YouTube from Jennifer Mack. And then the other one is I did one on near-death experiences, and I did that last spring, I believe it was. And I said that this election was going to be like a near-death experience for America.
Yeah,
it was going to be very, very, very traumatic. But you need to go look at that because that's this moment that we're in. You think what you're having is a hellish near-death experience as a nation. And the reality is we're going to come out of this with a new perspective, a different seeing things. That's what people say when they've come through these near-death experiences. Not all near-death experiences are heaven and, rainbows and unicorns and everything else. There's a lot of people that have very hellish near-death experiences. That's what America is seeing at this moment. And it is going to get worse before it gets better. Deep breaths. Be open to literally God's, message for you personally. And then we're not going to go fight our brother. We're going to not having a civil war here. They'd love for us to have a civil war, divide and conquer. This is that moment of consciousness where we get some divine input, some divine sense of purpose and direction, revitalization, and a sense of calm and peace as we do precisely what we were born to do. You're an Esther. Do what you were born to do. You've talked about being an Esther. Be an Esther. Have faith. Stay focused. We're going to get through this. And with a new sense of mission as a people, as a country. And we're not going to fight our brothers. We're going to be our brother's brother, not our brother's keeper. We're going to go out into the rest of the world and be salt and light to the world and do what we were made to do. Thank God we get that opportunity, and we're going to survive through this. President Trump is going to be President Trump for another term, and God will raise up a new leader to take his place, to carry us on forward in the dire moments, the tough times to come. This isn't over. It is going to be hard, but we're able to do it because we have God behind us. And I thank you, Roseanne, for letting me have the opportunity to share that with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Juan. Hey,
Mike. Talk to you soon.
You ready for Kirsten? She's ready to go.
Yeah, ready
All
for
right.
Kirsten too.
All right, I'm going to bring her on.
Thank you, baby. Okay.
All right, here she comes. Thank you, Juan.
Okay, thank you, Juan.